Hey everyone, it's Maureen, and I wanted to share with you everything that I'm making for my upcoming vacation. And it is a bachelorette weekend, so hold on to your seats, girls. Just kidding. But we are in for such a treat. We've got a lot of coordinated events and planned events. So of course that involves a dress code and colors and all these other things. So I am working on the Marley suit. This is the Marley suit. It's by Edgewater Avenue. The first time I made it in red when we went to the Caribbean or the Bahamas in December. And I cut out an XL, I think it was, for that one. I felt like it was a little too snug, but I was also a little bit heavier then. But this time I'm gonna cut out the XXL and give myself just a little bit more breathing room, and we'll see how it goes. I decided to share the cutting process because it's so different from any other PDF pattern I've ever made. I honestly thought I printed the wrong thing the first time I ever made an Edgewater Avenue pattern, just because she has you cut out the shapes of the pattern from the PDF file and then tape it together. And after some trial and error, I actually like this method much better than the traditional way. And for the sewing police, I have a rotary cutter specifically for paper, so that is what I'm using here. Just in case you're thinking that these are the same rotary cutters that I use for my fabric, the answer is no. So now I'm going to tape all of those small pieces together to make one big giant pattern piece. There are small coordinating letters on each piece to know exactly where to tape it together. This pattern has 4 major pieces, the front 2 pieces, and then the mirrored back pieces. If you watch the tutorial on Edgewater, their YouTube page, the pattern designer talks a lot about being mindful of the mirror pieces, even with solid fabrics. I've talked about it in my other videos, but I am using this black fabric from Blue Moon Fabrics, and I actually bought black power mesh with this as well. I wanted to just kind of have like a seamless black silhouette without any nude showing or any power mesh showing. I don't know if I've talked a lot about my use of power mesh instead of lining in my bathing suits, and so I have pretty much dropped using lining, period, in any of my bathing suits. I feel like power mesh kind of works like Spanx in a way and just kind of holds things in a lot better. And I also think that when you have power mesh, it also allows for the dry time to be a lot quicker if you're going in and out of water and whatnot. So it's just more convenient to me. And I typically buy my bathing suit fabric and my power mesh from Blue Moon Fabrics. Blue Moon Fabrics, they specialize, I feel like, in pretty much athleisure fabric, swimwear fabric, fabric for dancers, competitions, that kind of thing. So they have power mesh in literally every color, even skin tone power mesh, which is really awesome as well. I explained earlier that my first time making the Marley suit was last December for our cruise to the Bahamas. We spent about a week out there, and the day I wore the Marley suit was a port day in Nassau, Bahamas. So we ate breakfast on the boat, and then we got off the boat and decided to go to the beach first. And on the beach, we of course got food and drinks. It was this really great wing shop just behind us, and the drinks were like Bahama Mamas and Bahama Papas for like $20 or whatever. And then after we spent probably like 3 hours on the beach, we ended up catching a cab to the Queen's Staircase. And if you don't know about the Queen's Staircase, it is, I believe, like 70 steps. And it was built by slaves. It was hand built by slaves. And what it was a defense mechanism of some sort. And so the stairs led to the artillery, basically any sort of cannons or anything. And it was also considered the lookout for enemies that were in the water, like actual pirates and stuff like that. So we got a really great history lesson from a local tour guide. And of course, you know, obviously being fascinated by just the overall history of it and the symbolism of just it being built by Black people, by slaves, people that were enslaved. And it took several years to build that. And it's called the Queen's Staircase in honor of Queen Victoria. And so it's still there to this day, and you can climb up and down the stairs and whatnot. We did end up riding through a local part of town to get to the Queen's Staircase. We found a cab driver who was really gracious enough to drop us off at the Queen's Staircase, make a circle around because you can't really sit there since it's such a tight area. And so he kind of made a loop around, and he said he would wait 20 minutes and then come get us. And that's all you really need, is about 20 minutes to go up and down the stairs, really take in everything and soak in all of that history. If you're ever in the Nassau, Bahama area, I highly recommend going to visit that and just absorbing that history for sure. Getting back to the Marley suit, I'm sewing this exclusively on my serger, but you can absolutely use a sewing machine. Of course, you want to use a zigzag stitch and possibly some stretch thread for this. The steps are in the tutorial from Edgewater, but I'm going to briefly explain what I'm doing here. I'm taking my power mesh and fashion fabric and serging them right sides together on all sides, except the strap, the gusset, and the rib cage area. Once I do that to the front and the back, I will add my swimsuit elastic as well. So here is my swimsuit elastic. I'll link that below as well. It's totally different from regular elastic and actually holds up better in the water, I'm told. I ordered about 10 yards about a year ago, and I still have a ton left. So typically once you order it, that's probably all that you'll need. But basically what you want to do is you want to put the elastic exactly where you've sewn up your power mesh and your swimsuit fabric. One last thing I want to mention about the elastic is that there is a tutorial on Edgewater's page on just how to use this elastic with your serger and the right type of tension that you want to have with it. I highly recommend watching it if you have doubts or trepidation about sewing swimwear or just anything like this type of fabric and elastic that we are using. And as you can see, I've turned my bathing suit right side out, and the lining, the power mesh, and my fabric overall just look absolutely breathtaking and wonderful. I know I'm going to feel confident on the beach when I wear this during the bachelorette trip. That's all that I have for you this week. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.